15 random history facts you need to know. Number 1. Charlie Chaplin. Once, when the popularity of Charlie Chaplin was skyrocketing, he learned that a competition was taking place in which the person had to make himself look like Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin also took part in the competition secretly. Charlie Chaplin came 7th in this competition. That means that there were 6 people who looked more like Charlie Chaplin than Charlie Chaplin himself. Number 2. Italy. During the excavations in Italy in 2011, archaeologists found the remains of a couple who held each other's hands. The two lovers were buried together 1,500 years ago. Number 3. Ancient Greece. Throwing an apple at a girl in ancient Greece was the way to propose to her for marriage. If that girl picks up the apple, then it means that she has accepted the proposal. Number 4. Safety coffin. In the 19th century, it happened so many times that a person was presumed dead and was buried alive in a hurry. In view of all this, during that time a safety coffin was invented in which if a person was kept and that person was somehow alive, then he could signal to the people outside that he was alive. Number 5. Charles Ross. On 1st July 1874, Charles Ross, a 4-year-old boy from America, was kidnapped. This child could never be found. This case is considered the most famous disappearance of America's history. It was the first such kidnapping in U.S. history that was widely reported in the media. This child was lured by 2 people by showing them candy and firecrackers. Because people around the world took interest in this case during that time, even today, children all over the world are advised not to take sweets from any stranger. Number 6. Mary Ann Franco. Mary Ann Franco, a Florida woman, suffered an injury to her spine in a car accident in 1993, and she was blinded gradually. In 2015, Mary fell in her own house and again got hurt on her spine. She then had an operation, and after the operation, miraculously her eyesight returned after 20 years of blindness. Number 7. Suicide attempt. In the 19th century in Britain, an attempted suicide was considered a crime equivalent to an attempted murder, and during that time a person was sentenced to death for an unsuccessful suicide attempt. Number 8. The Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower was built just as a temporary structure for the 1889 World Exhibition and was to be demolished later. Number 9. Tokyo. The earthquake and tsunami devastated the Japanese capital Tokyo from 1608 to 1945 at an interval of every 5 years and was then resettled. Number 10. Ancient China. In ancient China, criminals were tickled and tortured to expose the truth. The advantage of this was that recovery was done quickly and there was no trace of injury, etc. Number 11. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was the first tycoon to allow his employees not to work on Saturday and Sunday, and then the concept of weekend was born. Number 12. Mount Everest. When the height of Mount Everest was first determined in the 19th century, researchers calculated the total height of Mount Everest to be exactly 29,000 feet. But the height which the researchers published was 29,002 feet. This was because the researchers were worried that after listening to the whole number of 29,000, people should not believe that it was a very rough estimate. Number 13. Peter the Great. The Emperor of Russia, Peter the Great, beheaded his wife's lover and then forced his wife to watch her lover's head for hours. Number 14. Marriage ritual. In most weddings, you may have noticed that the bride is on the left side of the groom. We find the reason for this in history. as most of the people are right-handed, so in the old times, the girl was standing on the left side of the groom, so that if someone tries to attack or snatch the bride, then the groom's right hands are free to pick up the sword and protect his bride. Number 15. The Black Death. When the bubonic epidemic was spreading in Europe in the 14th century, sea ships from the plague-affected area in Italy were prevented from entering the city for 40 days to prevent the spread of infection. In Italian, 40 is called quaranta, and from this word, the word quarantine is derived. This was all about today's video. Please like, share, and comment below. Thank you for watching.